Joining me now, Trump's pollster, my good friend for many, 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 many years. Don't want to age us, John McLaughlin. John, thanks
Morning.
for being with us.
Oh, it's great to be here. Great to be here.
Now, the only difference is you kept all your hair
Oh, no, some of it
through the
did.
last, how long do we know each other? It's got to be like
Since
1990,
yeah,
36 years.
right, right.
36 years.
Yeah. We
You
were.
kept all your hair. Mine is gone. Other than that, we're good to go.
Oh, it's good. You look great. You're doing great. You got all these radio stations. You got a big show. This is like huge. This is huge.
It's all good. John, let's get to the poll you put out yesterday, which I then sent out. I didn't ask your permission. Sorry, I just sent it.
So you put it out.
I was so excited. I had to
Yeah.
send it out on my Substack, but which I don't charge for. By the way, all you got to do to get it is to go to johnfredericksradio.com, sign up for my newsletter there. It's all free. John, it came at an interesting time after the debacle in Texas.
Right.
Walk us through your polling numbers and what you see going forward, John McLaughlin.
Well, first of all, I mean, you've seen a lot of the fake polls about Donald Trump. I mean, they're underpolling Trump voters, they're underpolling Republicans. We've been through this, we went through this in 2016 when they had the Hillary lock, the Biden blue wave, we couldn't win, it was going to be Kamala Harris. And so, like, you give times, like the New York Times puts out a poll, 38% Trump voters. So Trump in our poll has a 50% job approval, 47 disapproval, which is strong, it's positive. 9 out of 10 conservatives, Trump voters, Republicans approve the job he's doing. So the base is rock solid. And he still has majority support because of issues like deporting criminal illegal immigrants. When we ask him, this poll was taken out, it was out of the field last week. We just published it. We got the numbers back Friday and we published it. So when we asked, do you want to deport, do you approve or disapprove deporting criminal illegal immigrants? 87-10, all American voters do. 67% strongly approve. When we ask them about deporting any illegal immigrant, the majority of voters say they approve, 62-32. The difference is they're making ICE. They're separating it. They're demonizing ICE, like they're treating them like they're not real law enforcement officials, that there's no such thing as a federal immigration agent. They treat them as these rogue people. And I grew up, I was the grandson of New York City detectives. When a police officer told you to stop, you stopped. You got out of the car. You didn't harass them. You didn't follow around with we didn't have cell phones back then, but you didn't do that. So what's happening now is when you ask them to disapprove of defunding and abolishing ICE, 46% of all voters do. And so they're separating the immigration enforcement as a strategy. And by the way, when you ask about deporting criminal illegal immigrants, 79% of Hispanics are in favor of it. When you ask them about deporting any illegal immigrant, 46% of Hispanic voters approve of it. So you've got majority support for the policy, and the policy is Donald Trump's greatest success. People look at it, he secured the border, he's deported millions out of the country. A lot of these people are really bad people. You talk about murderers, rapists, sex offenders, etc. And the Democrat Party wants to keep them here. They don't want ICE. If you can defund and abolish ICE, there's no way to get them out of the country. We're back to the Biden-Harris open borders. So what's going on is you've got the radical left is doubling down. I read this morning that you've got billionaires, left-wing billionaires like Soros and some guy Neville Singham and whatever. They're funding all these protests. These are not, and they're funding activists to harass federal immigration agents. They're harassing the police. They're doxing police. In states where you have cooperation with ICE between local police and Minneapolis, because they go get going on what you have in Minnesota. And by the way, we had Governor Wolf, who most Americans don't like. Um, him using this to keep illegal immigrants in the state, and the majority of voters opposed that across the country, 51-36. They think we should be deporting these criminal illegal immigrants. They don't see, they don't see what the Democrats are doing. So, but they're really what they're trying to do is they're trying to keep criminals in the country. So you've got Chuck Schumer shutting down the government, senators shutting down the government to keep murderers, rapists, drug dealers, human traffickers, because they want to be able to register illegal immigrants and let them vote. I mean, it's so obvious. That's their plan to undermine our democracy and to take back.
So, John, when you did this polling, and it was in the middle of the whole Minneapolis thing, so it's not like you did it before that, before the optics and the fake news out there in overdrive, right? The great polling you had, juxtapose
Right.
that with the 31-point swing in the Senate seat in North Texas on Saturday night.
Well, in that district in Tarrant County, I'd not seen a runoff poll, so I really have no idea what the specific issues were locally down there. And we're doing lots of polling in Texas, but I have, with the issues that with the numbers that we're getting on immigration, particularly in special elections and primaries, I don't know how they lost because there's so many Trump voters in that district. And if they came back out, I saw some post-election commentary saying that Trump voters didn't come back out, which is possible because it happened through 2025 in a lot of races, where basically you saw even in states that President Trump lost close, like New Jersey and Virginia, he got 2 million votes, and the governor's candidates only got 1.4 million for the Republicans. So in this district, there should have been a lot more Trump voters coming out. I don't know why. We certainly, if we run on the issues, whether it's deporting criminal illegal immigrants, which 87-10, the voters support across the country. If we run on basically keeping us safe, keeping us secure, economic growth, taxes, etc., cutting taxes. I don't know how the Democrats can say they're for affordability when every one of them voted to raise taxes on every American. There's things out there that the voters just don't know, and the Republicans aren't playing offense against the Democrats. So whether it's state senate in Texas or whether it's running for Congress or running for Senate, we need to be playing offense on these Democrats and saying they want to defend criminal illegal immigrants and keep them here in America. People that are really bad people. They're basically trying to keep gang members and drug dealers. And by the way, one of the other questions we had in that poll, if they supported the military if President Trump using the military to get Nicolas Maduro, who was indicted on drug dealing, and they support 58-36. If the Democrats want to defend Nicolas Maduro and allowing people to ship fentanyl into the United States and kill hundreds of thousands of Americans, we should have that debate. And I think the Republicans need to play a lot more offense and need to look at November and say, we are not going to win unless this is a contrast election, that we remind voters just how radical and how out of touch these Democrats are. And that would be very, very important for the rest of the country.
So, John, two things. Number one, the Republicans can't campaign the way President Trump did in 24. That's why he's got to get out there in 26. I think Susie Wiles nailed it. He's got to campaign like it's 24 because the Republicans are just incapable of doing it. At the first sign of trouble, they don't want the distinction you talked about. They want to all go away, right? So that's problem number one. But what's not in your poll is when you look at, and I don't mean to get back to Texas, but it's just not Texas. It's, it was Virginia, New Jersey, Senate seat in Pennsylvania, PSC races in Georgia. It just went down the line. What's happening is our voters are not turning out. So you take a poll, they're happy, they like Trump, they like what he's doing, but they're not motivated to turn out. And that's what you pointed out earlier. Our turnout numbers have tanked of our base, which is costing us now election after election. How do we get our base out, John?
Again, it's the contrast election with the Democrats. If I mean, Donald Trump is a great leader. He's built a great movement, and I was fortunate to be there with him and advise him how to do that, so that when in 2016 he was asking how all these polls have Hillary Clinton ahead, how do we win? And in the summer I told him, you were going to max out the people that don't like Hillary Clinton. You're going to siphon up libertarian voters from Gary Johnson, but then you're going to bring millions of new voters back in who didn't vote for Mitt Romney, didn't vote for the Republicans, because they're not represented. They're exploited. You have this hardworking middle class in the country that gets sold out, where they bring in illegal immigrants, and these illegal immigrants, most of them are getting federal assistance, whether it's housing, whether it's or food benefit, food care, health care. They're getting tax dollars from American taxpayers, and so they're using our tax dollars to subsidize illegal immigration, and it exploits the working middle class in America. And if they don't vote, that exploitation will continue. Plus, what they do is they ship our jobs overseas. So they responded in 2016 and came out for Donald Trump with an electoral victory. In 2024, we've swept all the battleground states. We won the majority of the popular vote. And now they're sitting back and they're saying, he's doing a great job. We're all fine and happy. But they don't see the other side, that these Democrats wanted to raise their taxes because the Republicans don't play offense. Every Democrat that voted against the Trump tax cuts basically voted to raise taxes on every American $2,000. Every Democrat who voted against the Trump tax cuts voted to raise the national debt with the continued spending, et cetera, and go back to subsidizing this illegal immigration. And now the Democrats want to die on this hill. We should accommodate it. We should say, you want to defend the right of criminal illegal immigrants to stay in this country. You want to defend the right of using our tax dollars to subsidize illegal immigration. When people can't afford to pay their own doctors or get their own decent health care, they want to use your tax dollars to pay for an illegal immigrant to get health care in the United States. And we need to play offense. If we sit back, our voters won't have a reason to vote, won't have the reason to come out. If we have a contrast election with the Democrats, there's lots of reasons to come out and vote. The Democrat Party, they're openly socialist now, and it's big government socialist, but they want to tell you everything, everything that you can do and everything that you can't do. And if the Republicans, who have a razor-thin majority now in the House and a majority in the Senate, don't wage a contrast campaign against the Democrats, we'll lose.
Well, how do you get them to do that? I mean, how do you get Republicans to do that?
I do it with my own candidates. I mean, while they were losing these other races last year, I had Bruce Blakeman in Long Island. He's a county executive. Nassau County is bigger than 8 states, and it's a very diverse county. It's an 8-point Democrat county, but Bruce got reelected 56-44. We attacked the Democrats for wanting to raise taxes. Bruce cut taxes, and also to supporting cashless bail, where they let criminals out. In New York, Kathy Hochul has this cashless bail scheme. They arrest somebody, murder, rape, whatever, they let them go, and they're out. They're out without bail. It's like the drug dealers. And so we went after him, and Bruce and the entire Republican slate won by 12 points. The Trump voters came back out. And Trump even came into the county because Bruce was hosting the Ryder Cup. And the president brought his granddaughter, and this was during the campaign. And it was like a Trump rally where on the golf course of the Ryder Cup, these fans were all yelling USA, and Trump had a 57 job approval at the time. Mondami, who's right next door, the socialist mayor of New York now, when he was running, he had a 69 unfavorable. So if you run a contrast election against, these radical Democrats like Kathy Hochul, who's weak, Mondami, who's a socialist, we can win. We can win in Democrat areas. And but you've got to go after them. You can't let them define us, and you can't let them distract. And there's another thing. 4 to 10 voters pay attention to conservative media, like your radio programs, um, Fox News, Newsmax. Um, the other 6 out of 10 are watching either left of center news or no news at all. We get huge numbers in our echo chamber. We don't win public opinion when they're watching left of center news media, because what will happen is the media reports they thrive on misinformation. So what happens is when an ICE agent is getting beat up with a shovel, a snow shovel, and a broom by 3 illegal immigrants, and the guy has to shoot one of the attackers so that he saves his own life, the media portrays that as, ICE shoots Minnesota man. It's like they don't mention they were gang members. It's entirely slanted, biased, and we've got to break through that echo chamber like we did in the campaign. Because when Donald Trump campaigned, when he would go out and hold a rally, it wasn't just the 100,000 people that showed up. You would have hundreds of thousands of people send emails, send texts to want to come to the rally, and that gave us a way to communicate messages that were well beyond the media's reach. And so in social media, we would get them the truth. We'd get them the facts. We could send them links to the president's speech. We could send them campaign information on the hot issues. And right now, this is a classic example. We asked people if they thought the economy was getting better or worse in our last national poll, and 36% told us it was getting better, and you had over 50% saying it was getting worse. When you tell them the facts that the economy's growing, that inflation is down, that interest rates are being cut, that they're going to get a tax cut. When you tell them the facts, now they say the economy's getting better, 62-32. It's like, and they're more willing to vote for Republicans then, but they're not getting the facts from the mainstream media. The mainstream media is all invested in taking the House back for the Democrats and controlling.
No doubt about that. Hey,
controlling that,
before I get
doing it with misinformation.
Before I get to a caller, Bruce Blakeman, can he win the governorship in New York?
Yes, I mean, right now, Zogby's poll in January had us down 15. Last year they had down. I don't know. Siena had us down like 20, over 20 points. But when Bruce ran for county executive in 2021, most voters didn't know him, and like I said, it's a Democrat county, and they had a popular, but a Democrat who wanted to raise taxes, and the Democrats had introduced cashless bail in New York. We were down 24 points in March, and Bruce ended up winning that race. So right now, most New York voters don't know him yet, but they're getting to know him. There's a convention next week for the Republicans in Garden City, Long Island, and at that convention, Bruce will get the nomination, and we will continue to go after Kathy Hochul on her policies, because she now wants to pass a law that local police can't cooperate with ICE. She wants to keep criminals in New York State. That way she can let more of them go. It's like it's insane. But it's a challenge, because we're gonna have to break through the New York media, and the New York media is like they helped elect the socialist as mayor. And now you're seeing a Democrat who wants to raise taxes, and it's unbelievable. I mean,
Are you guys
New York has the highest tax burden in the country.
Are you guys going to get the conservative line as well?
Yes.
Yes.
I was with Sunday. I was up at in Albany at the New York State Conservative Political Action Conference, and the chairman, Jerry Kassar, is very supportive of Bruce Blakeman. So are their rank and file members. So. And that was the key. That's been the key for any Republican to win in New York. Whether
you got to get, as for people that don't know it, in New York City they have a conservative line, so a conservative gets on the ballot along with Republicans. There's a couple other lines on the left, but in order to win in New York, you have to get both a Republican and the conservative line, and so that's good news. Are you going to get him on my show one of these days?
Send me an invitation, and I'll connect you to Bruce.
All right,
So I'll do that. I'm sure he'll do it.
no, hook us up. I'll do that today.
Okay.
Let's get to a phone call. I know you have to go. Lily in Massachusetts, first time caller. You're on with the Johns. John and John.
Hello, good morning. It is such a pleasure to talk to you people. I've waited 5 years. First of all, I'm complaining that there's not enough women to call you sure. Second of all, I'm an immigrant who came in from Ireland, and I also came in from Australia. I lived there in both of those countries. I have been to 38 different countries, but I've only worked in 3, including England. I want to tell you that I think the government is handling things very wrong. And this is what I want to say. I come in here with sponsors. It's wonderful. It's the best place in the world, and I'm very sad to see what's happening. I just want to give my opinion about why I think we're doing it wrong. First of all, we should not be giving free housing to anybody other than an American, and especially a vet. Second of all, nobody, not even I, should be getting EBT cards. Second of all, we should not be packing the schools with illegal children from around the country when I could not get my children to go to the next town to go to school. Also, why are we giving a bank accounts to people, allowing them to go in and open bank accounts in our local towns when they are not American citizens? Would you like
You want
to
to
ask
respond
me
to
a
that?
question, John?
Well, I tell you, you're exactly right. We shouldn't be doing any of those things, and it's not by accident. You see what's happening in Europe. I mean, right now, George Soros has done this where through his Open Society foundations in Europe, where they're changing, long time countries, Western civilization, with an influx of immigrants from countries with no tradition in democracy, and they've got a huge criminal problem.
Can I know
and they're
you're
bringing
short
it to
on
the United
time.
States.
Go ahead, Lily.
I know you're short. I know you're all short in time, so I'm going to try and make this quick. We keep repeating the same thing every day, every morning, and you're absolutely great. Ireland is done with immigrants. Trust me. England is done. France is done. I've been there. I've walked the streets. I've come back to the U.S. and told my family the things I saw. I cannot believe. I'm also going to be 80 years old this year. I've learned a lot. I've seen a lot, and we're handling the whole thing wrong. Trump is good. Everybody wants to have a Trump as their leader. It's very difficult, but it's very simple, and I think we're just handling the whole thing wrong.
No, Lily's right, and you saw what happened in Spain yesterday, right? With they're going to let in hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants, and it's all about elections. They want these illegal immigrants to vote in the elections, and in the United States, we got to tell the Republicans, because part of this shutdown, there's a vote act that the Republicans have where everybody has to have voter ID, everybody has to have proof of citizenship before you can vote. Because we need to call Chuck Schumer out. Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries want to have illegal immigration in the United States by the millions so they could rig the next election. And they're using our tax dollars to facilitate it because they're giving these illegal immigrants huge subsidies, billions and billions of dollars, and a ton of fraud. And it's to bring them in to attract them so that they can change the laws or they can allow them to vote because you don't have voter ID, and it's totally transparent, it's totally corrupt, and the Republicans are playing way too nice because we need to call them out as just for what it is. That Chuck Schumer wants to undermine our democracy and Hakeem Jeffries, and they want to abolish voter ID and they want to bring in non-citizens to vote, and they're encouraging fraud and they're encouraging corruption, and if we don't call them out on it, we'll lose the election, and then we'll lose our democracy.
Yeah, John, I think that's it. I mean, you summed the whole thing up right there. Is the SAFE Act that was introduced by Chip Roy that passed the House? I think it was 220 to 208 with 4 Democrat votes. Is that still alive in the Senate, or did that just die there?
Schumer said it's dead. And we should say, if that's dead, then we're going to make sure that you lose this election badly, because he said it's dead. He said it's dead on arrival in the Senate, and no, the Republicans need to run ads. They ought to have they need to.
What if they just got rid of the filibuster rule, the 60 vote cloture rule? All they got to do is vote that out, and then they could pass it the next day.
Exactly.
I don't
Exactly.
understand. I mean, the Republicans are afraid of their own shadow. If they just get rid of that, the thing about the cloture rule, John, is you and I both know that if the Democrats take control of the Senate, they will blow that up in one day. It won't take them 2 days. They'll blow it up in a day, because the only reason they didn't blow it up the last time is because of 2 senators, Manchin and Sinema. They're gone. Fetterman voted to blow it up. So it's gone the next day. What are we waiting for? What are Republicans afraid of, John McLaughlin?
They're saying that if the Democrats ever take over, that they'll need the filibuster. It's like the Democrats will wipe out the filibuster in 2 seconds to have one party rule.
Right.
And it's like, so this is existential. The issues at hand right now, what they're doing to stifle Donald Trump, the man they tried to put in jail, the man they tried to take away his wealth, take away his civil rights, stop him by any means from being president, not give him enough security that he was nearly killed by an assassin. These Democrats are now going all out to win the midterms to contain him, and they're being helped by billionaire left-wing socialist investors, and Europe wants to see these corrupt leaders in Europe and other places where they're now having a reconcile with the strong United States. They're trying to weaken them, and it's like we ought to just call it out and say, to Senator Schumer, is like, you want to undermine our elections, you want to undermine our citizens' right to vote. We're not going to let you. We're going to hold every Democrat accountable, and if they don't pass that act, we're going to then suspend the filibuster and just pass it. And we should do that.
Why don't we do it?
Because the Democrats. Good question. Because we should. There's some Republicans in the Senate that want to protect the filibuster, and we can't, because we have to protect ourselves. I mean, this is ridiculous.
It's why we lose. I mean, you nailed it. You nailed it at the beginning when you said it's got to be a very, very dramatic contrast election in order to win. And I just don't think the Republicans are capable of that. I don't think they want that. When I say Republicans in general, they just don't want it. And so, they're made very uncomfortable by deportations. They don't like the images coming out of Minneapolis. They don't like they don't like ICE there with the masks on. They're uncomfortable. I mean, they just want to go back and get along, and everybody, and go back. I don't know, go back in the minority status. I don't know what they want, but they don't want to win.
Well, there's a majority within the Republican Party that wants to win, and that, you know what? They listen to the voters. When the voters say we've had enough, and the primary start in Texas on March 3rd.
Right.
And March 3rd, we need to elect candidates or nominate candidates in Texas and North Carolina and Alabama who are going to, say it's time to end the filibuster. It's time to get things done. It's time to, stop the Democrats from destroying our country.
Give us a rundown. Give us a rundown in Texas. Who's a favorite to win the Senate nomination? Who do you think?
Full disclosure, I'm not working for any of those candidates, but it appears to be a close race between Paxton and Senator Cornyn. Very close race from the published polls that I've seen, and Congressman Hunt is not far behind. So I think when you're looking at this, when you're looking at the race, that's going to be an important bellwether race in Texas. If there would just happened in the state Senate seat in Tarrant County, I think they need to be fired up to go and vote. And plus, you got a whole bunch of other congressional races. Texas 9, I'm working for Briscoe Kane, and he's a Trump conservative hardcore, and you've got Brett Jensen in Texas 8, and then you got the new 32 Paul Bondor. So if you elect those kind of Republicans that are going to give the President Trump full support and go to Congress to make sure that the Democrats don't get away with what they're doing, then we're in good shape. But but the primaries are the first step.
All right, we got to bounce. Is Lily still on? If you're still on, Lily, I'll give you the final word. Is she still on, Tyler?
No.
Okay, she's gone. Lily, thank you for the call. First time caller, 5-year listener, she said, from Massachusetts. We thank you for that. John McLaughlin, people want to follow you. McLaughlinonline.com, McLaughlinonline.com. And John, thanks for letting me put your poll out yesterday without me asking for permission. Thank you.
You always can.
I thought about asking you, and I just got busy. I just put it out. It's too good. It's too good. I just put it out. So thank you, John. Thanks for being with us. McLaughlinonline.com. President Trump's pollster says, don't panic. Poll numbers are good. Underneath, we just got to get our base out. And hopefully John's going to be able to figure out how to do that. And I agree with him. There's got to be a contrast election, and Republicans got to get up off their sorry asses. But, hey, we got to nominate the right ones. That's part of it. John, thanks for being with us, as always. And thanks for
Thank you, John. Keep getting out the truth.
All right. Now, I'll ping you on getting Bruce Blakeman on. Going to the convention in Albany. That's in, where's it? Garden City. That's
Garden
fun.
City, Long Island.
I know, right?
Monday,
Long Island,
Tuesday.
Garden
Yep.
City. He'll be the nominee. He'll be the Conservative Party nominee. And it's going to be a hell of a race. So it's going to be fun. John, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.